Hi everyone, Fadi here from Wheelin' Weirdos. Today I'm going to do an install video on the Voswitch 8-unit control unit. Basically this is a hub that you install in your engine compartment, and you connect all your wiring to your accessories in one hub. Instead of having a stack of scary looking wires on your battery, this all goes into the hub, and you have this lovely gorgeous panel inside the cab, 8 rocker switches for you to control. So I hope you enjoy the video. Please click the subscribe button. I'll also include a description of this in the comments. It is very windy outside, so I am going to be doing this in the garage today. Enjoy the video. Let's take a look and see what we got in the box. We have a set of instructions. We have pre-labeled rocker switches. For example, this one is air compressor, one of my favorites. Sasquatch lights. Not sure what I'm going to use that one for, but I do plan on using that. Next we have this tool. Will take off the rocker switch on the switch itself. Basically when you have the switch on here, you would slide this underneath, keep moving, and the switch just pops out. So keep that in a safe place. There is one extra switch in case one of them does go off. We have some zip ties. Wiring for the fuse box. One end goes in here, the other end is going to go into the Jeep. Now take a look at the switch. Once it's installed, it'll be facing me this way. Power on the left, switches on the right. Adhesive on the back for a little added security onto the Jeep itself. You've got one main bracket here. Now this does come with one bracket. I know some of them come with two, but this is one. Two different ways to install it. If you have a newer Jeep, you're gonna use this setup right here. If you have an older model, it's gonna be moved over to the other side. You'll take this bracket, move it over here, and attach it onto your Jeep. The cable that's gonna get attached to the box. Now look at the box itself. We have 3 cables coming out of it. One of them is going to go through the firewall and get attached to the switch. The other 2 are simply going to get attached to the battery. Now on the back end here, this is where you would install your cables, LED lights or whatever accessory you have. Feed them through the back end right here. And then you would simply open this up once installed on the Jeep, and you would cable manage the inside. So you can see you already have fuses in here. Everything is all nice and clean and set up. So without further ado, let's get started with the install. All right, so the first step is to remove the 2 existing bolts. In my case, these are 10mm. So I'm going to remove these 2, and then we'll start placing the unit out. I should say that when you're doing this, be careful of your brake lines here and also the electrical. So the box is going to sit right up here, but I'm looking at where I'm going to put these wires. I'm probably going to run them through here, possibly back here, and then start to zip tie them along this to the back to the battery. So now that I've installed this, I didn't tighten these down all the way just because I still need to do some cable work here. But already looking at this, maybe some bounce when you're off-roading, but I don't think it's going to be a huge effect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take this cable and we're going to run this through the firewall down here. Hopefully I can get the camera through with the flashlight and show you how that's done. You can see the firewall right there. So I'm just going to poke the wire through there and then reach around and grab it from the other side. So before I can run the wire through, I actually have to take off my grab handle. I need to take this off I'm probably going to pop the top for the first time, take that off so I can actually see what I'm doing. So once I take this, the handle, the top off, I'll be able to pop this off up on top of here, as well as the side, to be able to run the cable through and over and install the switch. I gotta admit, having the top off, kind of fun. I might do that this summer, but that was pretty fun. So now we got all the bolts off. Now I'm gonna actually pop this out. Yeah. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay. Oh my. See this? Oh boy. Uh-oh. Flip down. I gotta flip now. Okay, cool. Now that I've run this through here, I'm gonna get the switch and actually install it up on the middle console here. So now we got the switch. Let's see here. Ooh, okay, there we go. So these pull right out. It's just nerve-wracking to me that I'm like breaking something on my Jeep. It's one thing being, you know, on the trail and breaking something, but doing something accidental. So this is gonna sit. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this this right here is gonna go right over the hook, and then it's gonna get tied down. So I definitely need to take the roof off so you can get your hands up there. So I definitely recommend taking the roof off. I might have to take the other one off as well. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna take the other one off. So you can see here the bracket is above the actual metal hook. So when you set it up, you want to put that bracket right above, and then you want to use a 7mm wrench to tighten both of those bolts. Once you get them nice and snug in there, you should be ready to go as far as snapping everything back in and putting the top on. So we're going to do that now. So now I actually have the switch on. It actually looks pretty good. I like it. It's on there, fairly sturdy. Should be okay during off-roading and stuff, but at least I have all these switches up here. It did take a little bit longer than I thought, just because that bracket needs to sit on top of that hook. Remember that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back in here, and then clean up the wiring, and then we're going to go connect it to the battery. Make sure the switch lights work. Let's go ahead and put everything back together and move on to the battery. So according to the instructions, you would go through and finish zip tying everything along. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to connect it to the battery, and I'm going to go inside the cab and I'm going to make sure the switches work and it actually comes on. So once I'm confident that's going to work okay, I'll come back and I will cable manage this, zip tie it, make it look all nice and pretty. All right, so I went ahead and attached everything to the battery. So now let's give it a shot. One touch on, everything comes on, and everything should be coming on. Good. All the switches are on. Gonna put my Sasquatch in here somewhere. Let's go ahead and turn these off. One touch off. Wonderful. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was the install on the Voswitch 8-channel switch. I chose to get the green one. Pretty easy install for the most part. I just personally get nervous when I have to take my Jeep apart or do something I'm not sure what the heck I'm doing. But read the instructions, check out some videos. Hopefully this one helped. I did have a little snafu installing the switch up on the dash area there. But once I got that figured out, it kind of went pretty smooth. Just helps to remember where the screws go, or have a system of putting where the screws are supposed to go. As you saw in the video, I went through and I zip tied just a couple of places. Tomorrow I am getting a ARB compressor, twin compressor, along with a rear locker installed. So I didn't want to go too crazy with zip tying because I know the guys are going to maybe need some room in there to move around. So I will finish the cable management out there once I get the air compressor and the air locker put in. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Love to have you. Thanks. Until next time.